I'm going with Terrence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping 2 divisions.
Against lesser competition. He knocks him the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. Shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo look good.
When boxing's most ruthless closer sets his sights on the sport's undisputed king, you know fireworks are coming. Andre Ward just lit up the boxing world, claiming Terrence Crawford is the one man who could send shockwaves through Canelo Alvarez's legacy. Ward insists that Crawford's killer instinct is second to none. When he senses weakness, he doesn't just go for the finish, he devours his opponent with relentless combinations and pinpoint timing. For Canelo, this means a single mistake could spell disaster. Imagine the intensity. One misstep and Crawford's on him like a shark in open water.
I'm going with Terrence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this last couple of years. I am not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat.
Ward's admiration for both fighters goes beyond the usual hype. This isn't just about the money or another headline-grabbing bout. This is about legacy. 2 champions with nothing left to prove, yet both are willing to risk everything for that one defining moment. Ward believes that when legends collide with everything on the line, it elevates the sport and gives fans a real taste of greatness. This is the kind of matchup that makes boxing immortal.
Man, what's up, fight fans? It's official. I'm gonna be the 3rd man ringside calling the Canelo Alvarez Terrence Crawford fight September 13th at Allegiant Stadium. I'm excited to be a part of this event. I'm excited to be ringside calling this great card and this great matchup. Historic event for many, many reasons for both fighters. Super middleweight supremacy on the line, legacy's on the line, your namesake and reputation is on the line. And I just take my hat off to both of these fighters for putting everything on the line late in their careers the way that they are. This is rare, and it's becoming more and more rare in boxing. Guys don't want this kind of smoke. They really don't want to face another counterpart that can ruin everything that they've built. And it really don't matter how much money's on the table for a lot of guys. They'd rather take a lesser risk for less money than to risk everything like these 2 fighters are doing. So I take my hat off to them. And I also want to give a shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for all that he's done to put this fight on. Dana White for all that he's done to put this fight on. And one more person that stays out the way and you don't really hear a lot about, but that has done a lot to make this fight happen as well. And that's my brother, Nick Khan. He just gets stuff done, man. And I want to thank him and shout him out as well for getting this done. So I'll see y'all in Vegas, man. Part of me wants to be home watching this fight in street clothes, but I got to take the street clothes off. I got work to do. I got to put that suit on, get ringside with John and Max, and call this fight like I know we can. Huge event, huge implications, historic night, and I'm happy to be a part. I hope to see you in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. If not, man, tune in live on Netflix.
Robert Garcia didn't mince words about Canelo's recent performances, and his take has everyone talking. Garcia observed that Canelo's speed, both in his hands and his feet, just isn't what it used to be. He's looked more vulnerable, less like the unbeatable force of his prime. For a technician like Crawford, who thrives on timing and precision, these weaknesses are a goldmine. Garcia thinks that if Canelo can't rediscover his sharpness, Crawford's speed and adaptability could turn the tide and expose every crack in the Mexican icon's armor.
Jumping 2 divisions where he only had 1 fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
Appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you
very much.
Cheers.
Teddy Atlas, always a straight shooter, called out Canelo's training strategy as a potential pitfall. Atlas argues that Canelo is pushing himself too hard, possibly to the point of diminishing returns. Bringing in a young lion like Jaron Ennis for intense sparring? Atlas says that's overkill. Training smart is just as crucial as training hard, and Canelo's all-out approach might leave him spent before fight night. Against a fresh and calculating Crawford, that could be a recipe for disaster.
Now, so I avoided that. I would bring in specific sparring partners that A, knew how to be a sparring partner. Yeah, if I wanted something, I went over to him before the day started. Listen, I want you to do this. All right. I'm paying him. I have the right to do that. I want you to move more today. I want you to, you know what? I want you to press him a little. You know what? There was a fight I was getting a guy ready for, and I was worried about the first couple rounds. So I said, when the bell rings, I want you to rush out of the corner and go right after him. And I was, obviously I had my guy ready because we were getting ready for that kind of fight plan, for the possibility that the opponent would come out that way. So I wouldn't look to get a boots at us. I mean, nothing wrong with that's what they want. That's fine. And I get it, the style, the size, the length. I understand. It's not a bad pick from that point of view. But for me, again, I never go down that road because I got my guy getting ready for a fight. I don't want to leave it in the gym. I don't want to get into that kind of war in the gym. No, I want to have control of all aspects of what the hell I'm doing in the gym to get ready for one night. So no, I wouldn't do that. I'd get the right spar partners. If I thought I had a guy, I get guys that my guy could work with, and if he was having an off day, he could kind of, have his way and do what he wanted with the guy. I'd have one of them. I'd probably have 3 guys, sometimes 4, depending on where we were at, with the calendar when the fight was coming up.
Atlas doubled down, warning that Canelo's toughest battles might already be happening away from the cameras. Those brutal sparring sessions that look impressive on social media could be draining his energy reserves, leaving him flat when it matters most. Fighters only have so much to give, and if Canelo burns out in the gym, Crawford will be ready to capitalize with his relentless pace and surgical accuracy. The risk? Canelo might have already left his best performance on the training mats.
And a lot has been taken out of you in the gym. You left it in the gym. And we heard that Jaron Boots Ennis was getting the best of Canelo Alvarez in his sparring session. That he possibly gave him a black eye. We saw the knot on his head. That was just a week ago. The fight is next week, next Saturday. So 3 weeks out from the fight, and you having this hard sparring sessions with Jaron Boots Ennis, who wants to prove a point. Leave no doubt. Jaron Ennis is going into those sparring sessions not just to be a sparring partner, but to gauge where he stands against a legend and a Hall of Famer and a superstar like Canelo Alvarez, to understand where he can get better and understand that he can actually compete on that level. So make no mistake about it. Jaron Boots Ennis wasn't in there to lay down. Now, he had a job to do. He was there for a specific reason, which is to give Canelo looks that Terence Crawford could possibly give him. But you best believe, in those sparring sessions, he gonna give what he have. He gonna test the waters to see where he stands, right? Not just to help Canelo, not just to be a dummy. There's a reason you bring in a high-profile fighter. And so Teddy Atlas believes this is a huge mistake on Canelo Alvarez's part, because now he has possibly left it in the gym. And now he got to go into battle with Terrence Crawford. So it's like having 2 fights in a matter of 3 weeks. And your body's going to show the wear and tear.
But don't count Canelo out. His punching power is the stuff of nightmares. Even when he's not at his sharpest, opponents enter survival mode just to avoid his knockout shots. That's why so many of his fights go the distance, not because he's lost his edge, but because his rivals are too busy staying alive to take risks. But Crawford is different. He's made a career out of breaking down defensive fighters, setting traps, and exploding with offense when you least expect it. If Canelo tries to rely solely on power, he could be in for a rude awakening.
And no, for sure. I mean, we gotta see that fucking Canelo got power. That's the same reason why, at the same time, Canelo ends up going the distance with a lot of these guys, because these guys are just on survivor mode, you know? They're not trying to fight back. They're not trying to win. They're just surviving, which is hard to knock somebody out that's just surviving, you know? So I feel like Canelo's power is definitely there. I just think it's just a matter of how Crawford reacts when he feels it, you know? Is he gonna be one of those survivors, or is he gonna actually, you know?
No, I think Crawford will go out on the shield. I think he's gonna fight and go out like a warrior.
At the same time, I feel like he does that, then it gives Canelo a chance to be able to clip him, you know? More of a chance.
Turkey said no more Tom and Jerry. I don't expect him to run.
I mean, I don't expect him to run, but at the same time, it's boxing, you know? It's boxing, it's hit and don't get hit, swim and not get
wet. Is that what Haney did when he fought Jose Ramirez?
That's a different type of...
Is that what William Skull did when he fought Canelo?
Yeah, you see that? I feel like it's just because I feel like when you watch Bivol versus Betterby, the second fight, that's great boxing right there.
Critics have questioned the quality of Canelo's recent wins, saying they've been more about physical strength than boxing brilliance. Crawford, on the other hand, brings a complete arsenal: switch hitting, slick combos, elite footwork, and a genius fight IQ. Where Canelo leans on size and power, Crawford's versatility and ring smarts could be the difference maker. This isn't just a clash of styles, it's a battle of attributes, and many experts are starting to see Crawford as the man with the answers.
He knocks him the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. You know, shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo look good for the past 6 fights. And so now we sit here, you know, what is Canelo gonna do against Crawford? And while some of you are saying, you know, domination and weight, really the only thing that I hear is his weight, his power, his weight, his power, his weight, his power. And that's all that he has. But when I get to talking about Crawford, we'll dive into that.
Well, to Byron's point, the last super quality fight that Canelo had was against Dimitri Bivol, and we all know what happened with that. You know,
no, I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent. I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent.
Well, it was Caleb Plant, then it was Bivol.
Yeah, right.
Plant, then Bivol.
Well, don't forget to point out that Bivol came down, right?
No,
that was 175.
Canelo went up.
Canelo went up.
So that kind of puts Canelo at a disadvantage, right? He tested.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say that, right? If you want to say that,
I mean, you know,
I can argue.
But I mean, I'm not saying that that's an excuse for him for losing. I'm just saying, hey, you know, if you're gonna test yourself to be great, you gotta wear the consequences.
So let me ask. So no, you're right, 100%. But let me ask you a question. I'm just asking because I don't know. Like, so when you watching that fight, did you think it was a weight issue, or did you think it was more of a skill and boxing thing when watching that fight with Bivol and Canelo?
I thought he was outclassed.
I agree.
It was outclassed.
And it looked like he was being outclassed by basic fundamental boxing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that was my point. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't think Bivol's weight had anything to do with him, because Bivol's not a knockout artist.
And this legendary power that y'all speak of, this ass-taking Zeus god power that he has, it did not show in that fight.
The hype is real, the stakes are sky high, and the boxing world is holding its breath for this collision of titans. Whether it's Crawford's razor-sharp precision or Canelo's thunderous power, this fight promises to settle every debate and define an era. Make sure you're locked in, because every update, every twist, and every punch will be right here on Boxonic. Stay tuned. This is the kind of fight you'll be telling your grandkids about.